We're back. Hope you missed us. Horse racing coverage, Proline TV, Greg DePalma with our thoroughbred handicapper extraordinaire. From the Braggers and Sheets, John Hardoon. How's it going, John?
Good evening, my friend. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm nice and cool in my AC, air conditioner. I know it's not something that the people of France understand, but those people are really whacked. So nothing you can do about it. Just thankful we don't live there. That's for sure. I mean, what's up with that? No air conditioners. 2026.
Please. And the mayor in New York wants you to put your air conditioner on 78 degrees. Good luck to him, too.
Man, I don't know how you live in that area. Well, you don't live in New York, do you, Manhattan?
No, not at all.
Okay. Yeah, that's good.
All right,
Stay
Greg.
away from that. Okay, so we are going to take a look at 3 races today from Saratoga. We'll be doing races 7 and 9 with John and I. And then when I say goodbye to John later, I will take a look at race number 8, the Suburban Stakes. But races 7 and 9 at Saratoga are going to be the Belmont Oaks and the Belmont Derby. So we actually have Stakes, Derby, and Oaks today on races 7, 8, 9 at Saratoga. So what? These are races that would have been at Belmont, I guess?
No.
I know I'm a genius for figuring that out, but...
Yeah, it's kind of easy to figure it out. Well, it doesn't really matter. They're running them in Saratoga. And I have to tell you, as you know, I live up in Saratoga. It is hot, hot, hot today. I am surprised that they're going to run tomorrow, but it's opening day. So I guess they're going to try to do everything to get the card in.
When was the last time they did not run because of the heat?
Last year, I think they canceled a few days.
No.
Because of when it reaches a certain index, you have a law like, it's animal cruelty or whatever. So I guess we're getting close to that, but we're not at it yet. Other tracks all over the country have been canceling the last few days, including tomorrow. Colonial Downs is closed. I think Ellis Park is closed. Monmouth closed. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Is it one of those things where if they haven't closed it yet, they won't close it, or they could still close it?
No, they can close it. They can close it today. They canceled the last race at Colonial Downs just because it was too hot. They ran the first 7. The last one they decided to cancel. So they do what they want to do, I guess.
And Saratoga. So, and this is that small meet?
No, we're here now till September.
Oh, this is the long one. Okay.
Where have you been? The short
I know we skipped over. Yeah. What was that? We did that little one. I guess that was what, last month?
That was for Belmont Stakes, June. Yeah. Whatever it was.
Because we haven't been on in almost a month. And
we can't help it if they had no races for us to do. We passed the Stephen Forster last week because it was scratched down to a 5-horse field. And in all honesty, I would have given out a loser. So there you go.
And keep in mind, whenever you want to know about updates on the program, you could just check out our community page on Proline TV here on the channel. I'll type in and let you know. It's just like a forum, and I'll give you updates on what's going on. Because next week is actually, there's only 2 graded stakes races next week at Saratoga, both grade 2s. And then after that, it gets really, really busy. So I will just let you guys know in advance if it is possible we may take off next week because we're not going to be taking off for 4 or 5 weeks after that. So, but we'll see how the races are. Again, we only got 2. So if they're both small fields,
you don't have to do a stake race at Saratoga. They have like 12 races probably on a Saturday, and most of them are really good. But you're the boss, whatever you decide.
After that, the week after is the Haskell.
Well, you also have Delmar opening. There'll be plenty of action.
Yeah, and then after that, so you got Delmar, Monmouth, Saratoga. There's so much racing going on all the way through till August 8th. That I know that we will be on the air.
Labor Day. I can get you have the closing week at Saratoga, and Saratoga runs through the first week of September, and so does Delmar. So I wouldn't be making plans yet. I think you'll be on for a while. Anyway, let's get to work.
And just so you know, Pepe, I guess you might have been a little late, but we already talked about the weather. So, just stay tuned because they could still cancel the racing on Saturday.
No, they're not canceling on Saturday. No.
So
no,
it is too late.
It's not too late. It's just common. If they're going to run tomorrow, which will be a lot worse than Saturday, they're going to run Saturday.
Okay.
They're going to run Saturday.
So if they haven't canceled it today, there's no way they're canceling it. That's it. They're running on Saturday.
No, of course they could. I told you they can cancel tomorrow for tomorrow. They could cancel in the middle of the day if they find it necessary. But they're doing everything to possibly run, and I believe they will run.
Okay. Let's go ahead and take a look at the races, starting with race number 7. And this is going to be the Belmont Oaks. And this is the race that is 1 1/8 miles. It's an inner turf race. This one's for fillies, 3-year-olds. The purse is about $600,000. Should go off a little after 4 o'clock on Saturday. Let me go ahead and get the horses here. It's a 10-horse field. We've got some imports to talk about, which is never fun. The morning line favorite is the 8, and this is one of the imports. Bashari is a 5-2 shot who's run 3 races, has only won once, and we've got a number from his last race, which was a 14. I don't know. So I don't know why this horse is the favorite, but maybe they know something we don't.
Well, it's reputation here. It's Charles Appleby. Everyone knows the success he's always had over the years shipping in, and it's shipping into Saratoga. He's always shown a lot of success, but I can't play that horse at 5-2. Yeah.
Okay, so let's go through it. Horse number 1 is Just Aloof, an 8-1 shot. And a good thing about a lot of these horses in this field is a lot of them are improving, which is going to make it a real competitive race. So to choose from, Chad Brown is training this one horse, and he's gotten better all 4 of his races from a 17 to a 12.
Right. So Chad Brown has more than one horse in this race, and the horse has a chance. Obviously, he's on the improve, but he's got a ways to go to catch other horses in this race. I didn't use this horse. I don't like her.
Yeah, we've got Chad Brown, we've got Appleby, we've got Walsh. So we got some good ones here. The 2 is Time to Dream. And Time to Dream has also done a really good job of improving from 17 to 13, but obviously a little bit slower than the 1. He's also cooled off a little bit over his last 3 races result-wise after starting off his career with consecutive wins at Saratoga late. Actually, it was right around this time last year.
Yeah, well, it's opening. They're opening a little earlier this year than they did last year. But all that being said, the horse is fine. She's just a little slow. The line is strong because she's never really gone backwards, for the most part, 16, 15, 14, 13, 13. She's okay. Again, I think you have faster horses in the race that are just as long odds-wise.
What do you think about the difference in the 1 and the 2 as long shots, if you had to pick one?
If I had to pick one, I would pick the 2.
Okay. Better odds as well?
Better odds and, well, yeah, of course, better odds, but also, a better history, a longer history. The one horse won her first 2 races and then hasn't. I don't know. I think the 2 will be a longer price, and I would go to the 2 if I had to pick between the 1 and 2.
Interesting, too, that the 2, Ortiz, has been on board all 7 races until Saturday.
Correct.
So, okay, next up is the 3, another one of the imports, a 10-1 shot with Rosario on board. And we do know a couple of numbers here from the last 2 races are slower than the 8. This is a 16 and a 17.
Yeah, I don't like this horse. I know it's a European invader, so, they can come here and run much faster, but this horse is too slow.
Pepe has a question about Irad Ortiz.
Irad Ortiz, I think, is on suspension maybe for the first 2 days of the meet. I think he's not riding tomorrow, and I think he's maybe also be serving the suspension on Saturday. I'm not sure, or he could be at another track. I don't see him entered on any horses, to be honest with you.
No.
So chances are I'm right, and that he is serving his suspension.
Okay, the 4 is next. Faithful Departed, a 5-1 shot. You've got his brother Jose on board, who's actually had a slow meet so far, but it's early. He's actually 2 for 2, though, on board Faithful Departed, who also has a nice line from a 34. Well, actually, that was on dirt. On turf, he's gone from a 20 to a 12. And again, those last 2 wins were a 13 and a 12. You're getting 5-1. The only thing I don't like is not much value at 5-1.
Well, she looks just like the 1 and 2, doesn't she? So
Yeah.
why would you bet this horse at much shorter odds?
Yes.
And as far as Ortiz, Jose Ortiz being 4 for 35, that was the previous meet at Saratoga and Aqueduct, Belmont at Aqueduct and Belmont at Saratoga. So the 4 for 35 is misleading. Not only that, he won the Belmont Stakes on Golden Tempo. So
He'll take that.
Yeah, 4 for 35. I wouldn't pay attention to.
Okay, that's 5. Looks like, speaking of value, I think you're getting some good value as a long shot on the 5 Storms Wake. This horse has a grade 2 win a few starts ago, running a 12, ran a 10 in his last start, which was actually the first time he's ever run this distance before. And he's also been an improving horse, but especially over his last 4 races. So, yeah, I think at value at 10-1, why not put him in your exotics?
Absolutely. I mean, I would even considering keying this horse if I really get the 10-1. We haven't seen anyone else in this race so far run a 10. This horse has the 10. The 1, 2, 3, 4 have never run a 10. So why not bet a 10-1 shot that ran the 10?
Next up is going to this is going to be my top choice, but I'm a little bit concerned because I don't think this horse is going to be 6-1.
Not in a million years. Not with Chad Brown, Flavian Pratt. The fact that she's going for her 4th win in a row.
Yeah.
Her 5th win in 6 starts.
Yeah. And the line is really nice.
Yeah. And believe me, I saw 6-1. Then I said to myself, there's no way this horse is 6-1. Maybe 6-5. But
right. I think this would be the favorite of the race.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised. It's Chad Brown and Flavian Pratt, and it's a forward-moving horse.
Yeah, last time out, she ran an 11. She ran a 15, 13, and 11 this year. And again, as John said, 3 straight wins, including a grade 2 win her last time out. Okay, next up is one of the long shots, the 7, another import who ran a 14 at Saratoga in her first venture into the States.
Yeah, well, 14's not going to do it, so you're going to have to do better than the 14. Obviously, the horse is allowed to improve, but I don't know, 30-1 and makes it a little interesting, but I don't think she's good enough, and I don't think she's going to win.
The 8, Abashiri, we talked about this horse already as the morning line favorite.
But doesn't she just look like the 7 who's 30-1? They both ran a 14. Yeah. I mean, you're looking at numbers and you're looking at odds.
But hey, the 8's got Appleby.
Yeah, so, okay, well, that's fine. But the 7 is also 30 times the price of the 8. So.
That's right.
If they ran against each other 30 times, I promise you the 7 would beat the 8 more than 2 times out of the 30 times.
The 9 is next, and that's Ultimate Love. And this is Velasquez, who is also off to a slow start in this little tiny sample size. But anyway, this horse has run 4 straight 13s after winning her first 3 races of her career, 10-1 shot.
Well, the problem I have with this horse is, first of all, now you're getting to outside posts on the inner turf, so that you're somewhat up against it when you're doing that because it's tough to win from an outside post there. The problem I have with this horse is she didn't get better from 2 to 3. As a 2-year-old, she ran the 13. She comes out as a 3-year-old. You'd like to see the 11 or something, but all you see is another 13. So that doesn't impress me.
Yeah, the only good news is she's 10-1.
Okay.
So
the 2's 12-1. I mean, there are horses drawn inside that are just as fast as her.
And then the 10 is Imagination the Lady. Did I say that right?
Yeah, I guess so.
This is Brendan Walsh and Gaff Leone combo. Couple of grade 2 wins. Started off her career 17, 14, 12 last year. Then her first start this year was a 10. And then she came back, even though she went the opposite way with the 12, she won that race, another grade 2. So I can see why she's 4-1.
Yeah, she's fine again, but she loses points for breaking from the 10 post. If she was drawn inside, I would like her a lot more, but there's nothing wrong with the line. It's very strong. She came out, she broke her 2-year-old number. She had a 12 as a 2-year-old. She ran a 10, 2 starts back. She reacted last time out. Now she's got time off. She's sitting on another 10 today.
So what's the difference? Like when you mentioned the fact that on the inner turf, being on the outside is not a good deal.
Well, the turns are sharper. The turns are a lot sharper. You're running on the inner turf course, not the outer turf course. So speed really is more conducive to horses on the inner turf than they are on the. You have a better shot if you're a closer on the outer turf, and if you're a speed horse, you have a little bit of an advantage on the inner turf.
Are there any, like, if someone just looks at if they look at either one, they look at the form, they look at the sheets, is there a way to, or is there some sort of information you can gather from, like, for instance, she was on the outside post 3 other times. So at those racetracks, what would you look at to determine whether or not?
Well, not all racetracks have 2 turf courses.
Yeah.
Like in California, the turf courses are 1 turf. But if you want to know, if you look at the diagram where you see the T, look at the 1 horse. What are you using, Brisnet?
Correct.
Okay, so when you see a circle around the T, that means the Widener turf course. And if you see the next horse down, Time to Dream, you see the box around the T like last time out?
Time to Dream. Correct.
So the box is the inner, and around the circle is the outer.
Okay, that's cool. That's simple.
Well, there it
outer,
is. Inner
box, inner circle.
Correct.
All right, excellent. All right, so let's go with the picks. John, what you going with?
I'm going with the 6, the horse that's not going to be 6-1. I'm using exactas with the 2, the 5, and the 10. 6 with 2, 5, and 10.
And going to be pretty simple. It's going to be the 6 with the 5 and the 10. Very similar.
There you go.
So that's race number 10. And let me just do this. Okay, finished my notes. Okay, let's now move on to race number 9. This is the Belmont Derby.
By the way, these selections that we're making here are for turf only. They're not expecting rain, but it's Saratoga, so you never know. Obviously, if the race comes off the turf, all bets are off, and you're basically on your own.
Yeah, and if something happens where it happens early enough, then again, check the community page, and I'll see if I can get with John.
These are stake races, so obviously they will do everything to keep them on the turf.
All right, let's now take a look at race number 9. This is another race with 10 horses in the field. The Belmont Derby, 1 1/8, should go off about 5:20 on Saturday for 3-year-olds. And we've got the morning line favorite is the 8 West End Kid, a 3-1 shot with Gaffleone on board. And so, and a lot more deserving, at least on paper, than the last race. So let's go ahead and run through the field, starting with the 1 Blackmail. You've got a nice little combo of trainer and jockey having a nice little meet there. Very, very small sample size. But the good thing about this horse, sort of like what we were talking about with those other horses in race number 7, is this horse has also been improving a lot. 14, 14, 12 in the last 3 starts, including a win. What do you think about Blackmail at 12-1?
Well, he's improving. He hasn't done anything wrong. The only problem is there are horses in the race that are faster. And by the way, you could stop looking at the stats because they mean absolutely nothing. Tomorrow, everyone starts from scratch. It's open day tomorrow.
And I would say that, of course, we're going to go through the field, and there are going to be some good favorites. So I think the 1 is not a bad long shot to pair with some of these favorites. Okay, let's go with the 2, Bodice. One of the long shots at 10-1. A little bit slower than the 1. 3 14s and a 13.
Yeah, and what you see is what you get. He's probably going to run another 13. He does have a shot to make a forward move off of this line.
The 3 is Remember Mamba. And we got Jose Ortiz again, Sherry DeVoe, and the horses won 3 out of 4. Likes to close, won a grade 3 race a couple of starts ago, running a 12. And she's actually got a good line with this horse this year, 14, 12, and 10.
Yeah, this is going to turn out to be my top selection in here. Jose Ortiz and Sherry DeVoe obviously having a terrific year together, winning the Belmont, winning the Derby, and everything else that goes with it. But I like this horse. I like the job she's done with this horse. She gives the horse time between races, and the horse has reacted to the time off. Ran a 10 last time out, has never really gone backwards. You know, why not? Why can't this horse run the 10 or better? I think he can. He's drawn inside. It gives him somewhat of an edge. And I like this horse. This is going to be my top selection.
Remember Mamba. All right, next up is the 4, Third Coast, a 20-1 long shot, which is not bad considering this horse has also been improving in all 3 races from an 18 to a 16 and then a bigger jump to a 12 last start. You would expect a bounce, but hey, 20-1, won a couple of races already, include 1 race last time out off of Lasix.
Yeah, I don't like him. I mean, I think he's more likely to react. He ran a 4-point new top last time out, and that was first time without Lasix. That was at Monmouth. That was at a mile. Now he's being asked to go a mile and an eighth. So he ran the top last time out at the mile distance. The problem is today it's a mile and an eighth.
The 5 is another big long shot, 30-1 Turf Star. The way Graham Motion has won the last 2 Belmont Derbies, so it's going to be really hard to make it 3 in a row. The horse did run a 12 in January, but then after going on synthetic and running a really big 19, came back with a 14. Had a 10 in his second race at Kentucky Downs, but that's about it for Turf Star.
Listen, the only thing he really has going for him is that he is 30-1, but I don't like him, not this week.
The 6 is Pacific Avenue. We have an import from Appleby once again. A couple of 10s and 3 races this year. But he also noticed that in his last 6 races, he's only got 1 win.
Yeah, but he's also earned close to $250,000. So these European invaders, the 9th race, there's a couple of them. You have the 6 Pacific Avenue. You have the 9 Title Roll. I think these Euros are better than the Euros in the other race we did in the 7th race. I think these are better horses, certainly on numbers and certainly on money earned. You could see that. So I'm not telling you anything that's shocking.
Yeah, and then we'll get to the 9, but the 9 does look like the better play. But we'll get to that. All right, the 7 is whatever, a 10-1 shot. You got Brendan Walsh training. Now, I don't understand this, but obviously he knows what he's doing. This horse in his first 5 starts was really doing nothing wrong. Went all the way from a 24 to an 11. This was on faster tracks. That was really nice. But then all of a sudden decided for some reason to go on turf. Now, he did finish second, ran a 13, not terrible.
He also had trouble in that race and was also off of Lasix. You know, they tried something else because all those great numbers he was running, he only has 1 win, 2 starts back. So, you know, they were good races, but he wasn't really getting the results. They gave him a shot on the grass. He ran second in a stake, so not so bad.
Yeah, I mean, not a bad idea for a long shot. Okay, number 8, West End Kid. This will be my top pick. Gaffalione on board, 1 for Saratoga, 13-13, then at the 9. Bounced to the 11, winning the race, a grade 3 race, 3rd straight win, first race off Lasix. So I like the fact that it was the first race off Lasix and also bounced to the 11. So I'm expecting, you know, this horse to come right back and maybe get an 8 or a 7.
Okay. Well, he's fine. I mean, you know, if he was in the 3 post and the 3 was in the 8 post, I would pick him also. But the 3's in the 3 post. That's why he ended up on the 3.
Okay. And the 9 is Title Roll. And the difference between the 9 import and the 6, the 6, as we mentioned, had those 2 10s. Well, the 9 has 2 9s in his last 3 races and has also made a little bit more money than the 6.
But So let me explain the problem with both the 6 and the 9. If you're looking for holes in short-priced horses, because they're going to be short because everyone bets these Euro Invaders. The problem is neither one of them has been a mile and an eighth. Not only that, the 9 looks more like a sprinter because he's only been a mile. Everything else is 7 furlongs, 7 furlongs, 6 furlongs. Kind of similar to the 6. So for that reason, they've never been the distance. They've never been a mile and an eighth. Well, while they may be good at the shorter distances, what guarantees us that they're going to do well, at the mile and an eighth?
Yeah.
So for that reason, I think they're vulnerable.
And then the 10 is Touch of Fire, 5-1 shot. You got Cox and Pratt. So that this horse is going to be tough to beat. But again, on the outside, this horse has won 3 out of 4, second place also. 13, 13, and then 14. But then in the last race, which was a win, ran an 11. So, yeah, this horse is going to be a short price. But as you mentioned, this horse is going to be on the outside and does not have anything better than 11 so far.
But he does have Pratt for the first time, so that's a little interesting. And Pratt and Cox have always had a lot of success. But you're right, they're going to be overbet, and there's not going to be much value using them.
Okay, John, so you're going to go ahead with the 3.
I'm using the 3 with the 6, 8, and 9. 3 with the 6, 8, and 9. That's Remember Mamba with Pacific Avenue, with West End Kid, and with Title Roll. 3 with 6, 8, and 9.
Protecting yourself with those imports. Smart.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, because they're coming to Saratoga for a reason. This isn't like, Saturday at Aqueduct. When they point for this meet, usually they're pretty good. So let's see what happens.
And I'm going to go ahead with the 8, as I mentioned, over the 1, the 3, and the 7. Okay.
Right, see you next week. Thanks, everybody. Stay tuned. Greg's got more news for you. I'll see you later.
Thanks,
Stay
John.
safe and be well. Thank you.
All right. John Hardoon hanging out in the air conditioning, luxuriousness, whatever that means, or however I say it, of his home in the United States. Yes, can say that in France. All right, enough of that. Let's take a look at race 8. So let's go back. Oh, before we do that, let's just recap in case you came in late. So John, in race number 7, we actually both went with the 6. Fits right. And we both do not believe that horse will be 6-1 or anything close to it, unfortunately. So if you can get a fixed price, you can get one of those sports books that can give you a fixed price. I mean, we talked about this at the Triple Crown races where they will give you fixed prices on sports books a lot easier because they're big races, a lot of money. But everyday racing, I just haven't seen that. I'm going to check it out. But it's hard to find fixed prices. If anybody out there knows of a sports book, popular sports book that does fixed pricing on a regular basis in horse racing, just let us know. But I haven't heard of it. So if you could get fixed pricing on Fits Right, that would be the way to go. Anyway, that's the top horse right now that we think will do it for race number 7. And then John's going to go 2, 5, and 10. Okay, so 6 is the top horse, and then he's mixing in 2, 5, and 10. I'm mixing in the 5 and the 10. That's race number 7, the Belmont Oaks. And then the 9th race, which is the Belmont Derby. As we just did, John's doing Remember Mamba as a 7-2 shot over 6, 8, and 9. He's putting those 2 imports in there, along with my top pick, the 8. And I'm going to go 8 over 137. So there you go. So that's getting you caught up on what we've been doing. Let's go through this 8th race. Where are we? There we go. All right. So we have 10 horses. Why does it say 11? Oh, that's right. We do have 10 horses. Oh, okay. I got the O's mixed up. Original Sin and Obstacle. Okay. So the morning line favorite is the 7. And that is the horse that I am going to go with here as my top choice, Antiquarian. And even though it's a short price, the fact is that we've been watching this horse race in some really big races. and he's really held his own. Had the big win in the Jockey Club Gold Cup against the big boys, and it ran a 6, by the way. And this horse has run 3 6s in the last 5 races. And I wouldn't worry too much about what he did in the Breeders' Cup Classic, because that was one of those races where you can draw a line through it. It's just a really bad race for him. And that was just draw a line through it. So if you do that and you take a look, let's see. I'm just taking a look at the form. And if you do that, then in his last, let's just say his last 8 races, not including the Breeders' Cup Classic, okay, he has run anywhere from 6s to 10s. So he's got 3 6s, 2 7s, a 9, and a 10 during that stretch. Pletcher and Velasquez are the combo. He's coming off a 4th place finish, but those were big, big boys he was going up against, like Nisos and Journalism and so forth. This is a much more manageable field, and that is why I am taking the 7 as the top choice. Let's go ahead through the rest of the field. The 1 classicist, Pletcher has won 3. Actually, Pletcher had won 3 straight Suburbans until last year. So he's won 3 out of 4. He's got 2 horses in this one. This is the long shot, a 20-1 long shot. It's got Castellano. The horse has won 3 out of 5, 7 for 7 in the money. That's nice. He's also been on Lasix 4 out of his last 5 and has never won off of Lasix. The good news is that if you throw out the 15 2 starts ago, which he still ran 3rd, he has not gone backwards before. That's the only time he's gone backwards. So he started with 15s, made his way from 12 and 11s, ran the 8 last time out. So you could look at that as a potential bounce, but it's on the border. It's about 6 weeks roughly. And the Lasix thing is also a concern, but you are talking about Castellano and Pletcher at 20-1. Never out of the money. Now it's a big jump because the horse has never even raced in a graded stakes race before. But I can see some reasons to throw him in there to make some money. The 2 is Forged Steel. So this has to be a good one to consider because of what he's done, even just in the last 2 races. If you look at only his dirt races, which this is, it's a 1.25 miles. It's a $500,000 race, 4-year-olds and up. Should go off about close to 4:45 to 5 on Saturday. But this is the first dirt race we're talking about. And just over his 6 dirt races on this form, he's gone 19, 14, 13, 13, 9, and 7. So he keeps improving, and he's really stepped it up. The last 2 races, he got a 4-point new top. And most of the time, and that was actually right around that borderline as far as bouncing. And he didn't. He kept going further. So after a 4-point new top, he went to a 7 after the 9, which is pretty impressive. And it was also his biggest win, a grade 2 win at this distance. The only time he's ever raced at this distance. He's gone wire to wire in his last 2 starts. And anyway, that's pretty impressive. And that's why he's 4-1. I think you got to use him for sure. Yo Daddy looked a lot better a couple of years ago. Actually, last year, he looked a lot better. He had 7s, 6, 8s. This year, he does not have any single digits. His last 3 races, he's incrementally gone the opposite way, 10, 11, 12. He has been really good in the money, 19 out of 25 in his career, but he's coming off a pretty bad result, 6th place, 12, as I mentioned. You are getting 15-1. It's a big number, but I think you got better options. The 4 is Parchment Party. And this is one of two trained William Mott horses at 8-1, 2 for 2 at Saratoga. He's got some decent single-digit numbers over his last 5 races. He has 3 9s in a row, and right around a little bit, I'd say about 14, 15 months ago, he went 9-9-9. Anyway, he started this year with an 11, and then he ended up last time out, late April, with an 8. That's his best number. So he's coming off his best number. And at least we know he can win at this track as well. 8-1. I think all this is fair. I think he's somebody to keep an eye on. I don't think I'm going to pick him, but I can see why you might like him. The 5 is Tistastic at 12-1 shot. You got Jose Ortiz. Did not win in his only start at Saratoga. Actually won the Louisiana Derby last year, running a 10. And so you could really look at the line heading up into the race and you go, wow. I mean, look at the line after that, going into the Derby. And you could think, oh, maybe this may be a nice little long shot. And maybe some of the viewers out there thought Tistastic was a nice long shot. But it did not go well at the Derby. And he's switched after the Derby to turf, but just came back in May in an optional claimer and ran an 8. Now, it was on Lasix, though. You got to keep that in mind. But you are getting 12-1, and Jose Ortiz is on board, and he was on board the last time out when they won that race in May. Rosario was on board in the Louisiana Derby win, which was the last time the horse had won up until several weeks ago. The 6 is Phileas Fogg, who was the defending champion of the race. Phileas Fogg won this race with a 7 last year. Went wire to wire. And his line at that time, from April to December, was between 5 and 9s. So he really was peaking as a 5-year-old. Matter of fact, he went 9, 7, 6, 5 from May to September. Then he ran an 8 after the 5 in December in the Cigar Mile. Finished 4th. Took a few months off and did not really respond all that great number-wise. He did finish 3rd, but as you can see, if you notice that, I mean, how many times have you seen a horse finish 3rd, 25 lengths back? But I don't even think, I think, were there 3 horses in that race? Anyway, draw a line through that. So if you draw a line through that one, you've got 8, 9, 7, 6, 5, 8, 8. And you're getting 8-1, which is not bad. The horse has won 10 out of 23, which is pretty awesome. 2 out of 3 at Saratoga, which is also very good. But you could also look at it as after the 7, 6, 5, the last 3 races have been 8, 25, 8. And what happened last year, and very close to last year in December, he got older. But he did win his last start, and you are getting 8-1. So there are things to like, just like we talked about with Parchment Party. What was the other one? No, that was probably the one. I mean, Tistastic. There's a couple things there, but more so, Parchment Party and Phileas Fogg are definitely horses to keep an eye on at 8-1. After the 7, we talked about an aquarium. You go with the 8 Hit Show, who had that big win at the Dubai World Cup in last April, running a 5. Came back a couple of starts after that with a 4. Couple of starts after that, he went on a 3-race streak of 6s. and had 2 wins and a runner-up in those 3 races. Won 2 grade 3 races along the way. But the thing that sticks out for me even more so than Phileas Fogg, and I you know what, I probably would take Phileas Fogg and Parchment Party over Hit Show. I'm getting better odds, getting almost double the odds. And Hit Show also got older. And what happened over the last couple of starts? Well, keep this in mind. You say, well, he got older, but in February he was 6. He got older there, and he won that race. Well, keep in mind that was on Lasix. And the last time he ran on Lasix, he also won. That's when he ran a 4 last August. So after the Lasix win, he runs an 11 and a 10. Finishes 5th and 3rd. And he was a heavy favorite in both of those races. Actually, I don't know what he was at Dubai, the World Cup. He was a heavy favorite in that win at Fairgrounds. That is the one plus, is you're getting 5-1 now on Hit Show instead of him being a really short price. But this is a really competitive field. And he's raced once at Saratoga, and he did not hit the money. The 9 is Stars and Stripes. This is the other Mott horse trained entry. 1-for-1 at Saratoga. 1-for-1 at this distance. Coming off a grade 3 win. His first win off of Lasix, which is important. Last year, he was a little bit slower. You know, he had 14s, 15s, and an 11. The 11, by the way, his best race last year at Saratoga. Then he starts this year much better. 8-7-7. And I do think this qualifies for John's pairs because they're both pretty close apart within 6 weeks, and it's his best numbers. And if that qualifies, then he could be ready for his best race yet. And he's had some time off too since April 18th. And again, you got Mott. 6-1's not bad. Definitely like Stars and Stripes in the mix. And then Original Sin, I think you're getting good value here. You've got Brendan Walsh and Gaffleone. He's 50% in the win column. And this is a horse that ran a 5 in April. Before that, previous couple of years, I mean, the first year, late 2024, nothing. Just don't even ask. Then he runs a 12 and a 15 last year. At least he wins a race and goes on this 5-race streak of Lasix run races. But still, first 2 years, 4 races, nothing a whole lot to show for except 1 win on Lasix to break his maiden. But then everything changed this year. He hits an 8, wins the race at Fairgrounds. Predictably, since that was his 4-point new top, bounces to a 12. Finishes 6th. But then what does he do when he writes himself the very next race? He gets a new 3-point top, runs a 5 in an optional claimer. Then what does he do after that? Well, he predictably bounces again to a 9. But the good thing is he wins a grade 3 stakes race in the meantime off of Lasix. Plus you got Brendan Walsh and Gaffleone. You're getting 10-1, and I think you got to play Original Sin. Now, Original Sin's odds are not that much off of Phileas Fogg and Parchment Party, so I get that. I mean, I'm going to go with the 7 over the 2, 9, and 10. But I would say that if, especially Phileas Fogg or Parchment Party, if those odds somehow go and I get better value there, or let's say Original Sin becomes 6-1 and Parchment Party or Phileas Fogg is 10-1 or 12-1, I'm probably going to favor that horse because I like the value of Original Sin the most, but I want to take him though. because I like the fact that I've got Gaffleone, I've got Walsh, I've got the 5, which is very impressive just a couple of starts ago. And as I was going through how he's raced this year, there's a lot to like. So yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm going to stick with him because I don't know if he's going to wind up getting too low. There's just other good horses in this race. So I don't think that'll happen, but you never know. All right, so there you go. Gonna go 7 over 210, 2, 9, and 10. And again, if you just joined us, John's picks for race 7 and 9, he's going with the 6 in race 7 over 2, 5, and 10. Race number 9, John is going with the 3 over the 6, 8, and 9. Now, as I was going over with John early in the show, and keep in mind, everybody, that there is a grade 1 race tomorrow on Sunday. That's the Leo O'Brien at Saratoga. So you want to check that out. Links in the description of this video where you can check out John's packages. You can also purchase the sheets of the races that we talked about. And that's where you can find them. Now, as far as our schedule, again, not sure we're going to do a show next week, but we might. I mean, we've been off for a while. I hope we do a show next week, but just wanted to, again, this is one of those situations where, first of all, there's only 2 grade 2 races, and that's it. And they're both at Saratoga. And if they're both good races, then I'm sure we'll do a show next week. If something happens where they're not good races and there's just not enough other races to satisfy us, then we might take off again, because after that, after next week, we are going to be on the air for quite a run, because I'm only looking at even the last, 4 weeks after that. We got the 18th, the 25th, the 1st, and the 8th. So that next month, I know for sure we are going to be on the air for 4 straight weeks. All sorts of really great racing. And it starts with the Haskell week at Monmouth. Then already next week after that, you've got grade 1 races at Del Mar and Saratoga. After that, you've got grade 1 at Del Mar, stakes races at Saratoga. After that, you've got Whitney Day at Saratoga, which is amazing. And I don't anticipate much of that coming to a close anytime soon. I certainly hope not. So just keep that in mind. And again, you got to look at the community page on the channel. So if something does happen, anytime we handicap a race, and let's say it comes off the grass, and as John says, that's it, all bets are off, and it's early enough in that process, and I'm able to reach out to John and see if he has picks for the updated race conditions. And if I can get that, then I'm going to post it on the community page of the channel. So make sure to check that out. That's the only way. Now, I can't guarantee that that's going to happen, but at least there's a chance that at some point we'll be under that scenario. And if we can make that work, the only place you can find out where the updated picks would be on the community page. So make sure you check it out at Proline TV. And as you can see behind me, I've got the ourlads.com text and template. I do 5 days a week over there of NFL and college football programming. Been doing it since May. Going to keep doing it all the way through to the Super Bowl and then beyond. And we have lots going on, lots of talk on college football, so many teams to cover. Spring's over. Training camp's coming up in both college football and the NFL. And I interview lots and lots of individual team publishers, editors, writers of team sites. Like today, we interviewed publisher and I think a writer. I don't think he was the publisher, but they were both really dialed in on Pittsburgh and California college football out of the ACC. I did Boston College yesterday. We did so many other teams already. We've had a lot of big teams we've talked about: Miami Hurricanes, Michigan, Georgia, go on and on and on. And so if you're into football, NFL college football, you might say, well, this is kind of early, right? Well, information is information. And I'm not going to be rehashing that information in a month or two. So you don't have to check it out now. If you're into football and you want to wait until August to check it out, just keep that in mind. There'll be tons of content pertaining to this season in the NFL and college football that'll be available in our library for you to take advantage of. And then also I'll be back tomorrow on Proline TV, and partnering with our lads. We do a show every Friday. We only have 3 more weeks left with this particular show, where we preview one division in the NFL. So we're doing the AFC East tomorrow. We'll do the NFC North next week, and then we do the AFC West the week after that, and that's it. And then that run is over. But it will be and still is an 8-week run. You can watch it both on Proline and on the R-Lads channel. So you can watch it on both channels simultaneously. Pick a channel, and that's with Jim Feist and Andy Isco and myself every Friday. Saturday, I come on every Saturday to update what's going on in NASCAR after qualifying and practice. So this week they're at Chicago. It's usually around 9 o'clock in the evening. I come on and I give updated odds and picks and things of that nature and go over all the updated speed charts and all that. So if you're into NASCAR, you check that one out as well. We also do a show on NASCAR on Tuesdays at 4 o'clock. And that's going to wrap it up. So thanks for tuning in. Again, check out the links in the description of this video for John's packages, for the sheets, where you can link up for my content over at our lads, social media, all that good stuff. If you have any questions, comments, anything at all, give us your picks. Let us know what's on your mind, and we will definitely get back to you if you have any questions or things of that nature. So best of luck to everybody on Saturday. Fingers crossed that we get races in and the weather doesn't screw things up and that everybody's healthy. So enjoy yourself, and we'll see everybody hopefully again next Thursday. If not, we'll definitely see everybody after that week later, and then we'll be on a nice little run. So, but who knows? Maybe we'll see each other again next Thursday night. And thanks for tuning in.